In the whimsical world of the Fairly OddParents, the idea of deserving fairy godparents is all about how tough a child's life is compared to others. But what makes a child's life challenging enough to warrant fairy godparents? Is it about having a rough day or something deeper? For instance, how do Chester McBadbat's ongoing struggles stack up against the emotional turmoil faced by Remy Bucksaplenty or Trixie Tang? And what about Tootie, who seems to have it the hardest with her mistreatment? Could these characters, with their unique difficulties, really be in need of magical help? Dive into their stories and see who stands out as most deserving of fairy godparents. If you're curious about more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give a thumbs up to stay updated with our latest videos. Chester McBadbat. Chester McBadbat is a character from the Fairly OddParents, whose life is marked by a series of unfortunate events. Often depicted as unlucky, Chester faces the challenge of living under the shadow of his father's damaged reputation from his baseball career. Despite these setbacks, Chester remains remarkably resilient and kind-hearted. His optimism shines through, and he maintains a strong, supportive relationship with his father, who stands by him despite their financial struggles. In the episode It's a Wishful Life, an alternate reality reveals Chester using fairy godparents Cosmo and Wanda for selfless acts, like wishing for pre-wed steaks for a senior center. This demonstrates Chester's willingness to use magical help for the benefit of others, highlighting his altruistic nature. However, while Chester's life is undoubtedly filled with struggles, it doesn't quite reach the level of misery that typically qualifies a character for fairy godparents. His optimism, combined with the support of his family, places him outside the usual criteria for needing magical intervention. Chester's life is tough, but not hopeless, which is a key factor in determining his need for fairy godparents. Remy Bucksaplenty. Remy Bucksaplenty is a character whose situation exemplifies a more nuanced case of deserving fairy godparents. Despite his wealth and influence, Remy's life is deeply affected by emotional distress stemming from his neglectful parents. This neglect has left him with profound insecurity and a continuous need to compensate for the emotional void in his life. In episodes like Fairy Quite Contrary and Remy Rides Again, Remy's elaborate schemes to make Timmy's life better or manipulate situations reveal a significant sense of unhappiness and emotional emptiness. His actions, driven by a desperate attempt to fill the gaps left by his parents' lack of attention, underscore a life that, although outwardly successful, is emotionally unfulfilling. Remy's wealth and social standing do not shield him from the kind of misery that could justify the need for fairy godparents. His behavior reflects a deeper, unmet emotional need that highlights how even those who seem to have it all might still struggle profoundly. Remy's situation suggests that fairy godparents could indeed offer him the emotional support and fulfillment he desperately seeks, despite his outward appearance of success. Trixie Tang. Trixie Tang is a character who presents a compelling case for deserving fairy godparents, despite her outward appearance of having a perfect life. Known for her popularity and social status, Trixie seems to have everything going for her. However, this facade of perfection hides a range of personal struggles. In episodes such as Love Struck, it becomes clear that Trixie is grappling with deep-seated insecurities and difficulties in forming stable, meaningful relationships. The pressure to maintain her image and the constant attention from her peers contribute to a significant emotional toll. Her life, while appearing ideal on the surface, is fraught with internal conflicts and an ongoing identity crisis. The disparity between Trixie's public persona and her private struggles suggests that her life is not as flawless as it seems. The emotional turmoil and stress associated with her popularity and image align with the criteria for needing fairy godparents in the whimsical world of the Fairly OddParents. Trixie's situation highlights how even those who appear to have it all can face profound personal challenges, making her a potential candidate for magical intervention. Veronica. Veronica, Trixie Tang's best friend, provides an intriguing contrast when considering who deserves fairy godparents. Unlike her popular friend, Veronica often finds herself in the background, facing challenges related to her social standing and occasional neglect. Episodes highlight her skepticism towards Timmy's sudden rise in popularity, and she frequently endures physical comedy and minor bullying, which underscores her struggle with being overshadowed. Despite these difficulties, Veronica's situation does not seem to reach the level of misery typically associated with needing fairy godparents. Her challenges primarily revolve around social issues and some degree of neglect, rather than deep emotional or psychological distress. Unlike characters such as Trixie, who struggle with profound personal issues despite their outward success, Veronica's problems are more superficial in nature. Her struggles, while noteworthy, do not appear severe enough to meet the criteria for fairy godparents, especially when compared to other characters on this list. Veronica's life, though not ideal, seems to lack the intense level of distress that would usually justify magical intervention in the whimsical world of the Fairly OddParents. AJ. AJ is one of Timmy's friends who is well-off, highly intelligent, and comes from a supportive family. His life is marked by success and stability, despite some friendly rivalry with Timmy. AJ's character is depicted as someone who has achieved significant accomplishments and enjoys a secure family environment. Given his overall positive and prosperous situation, AJ does not fit the criteria for needing fairy godparents. His life, characterized by intellectual achievements and family support, stands in contrast to the emotional or social struggles that typically prompt the need for magical assistance in the show. Sanjay. Sanjay, a friend of Timmy's, leads a relatively stable and content life. He benefits from a supportive relationship with his stepbrother, and, while he does face some bullying, his overall situation remains positive. Sanjay's life, despite its challenges, does not exhibit the level of distress that would typically warrant fairy godparents. His supportive family and effective coping mechanisms contribute to his overall well-being, suggesting that he manages his difficulties without the need for magical intervention. Although not without his problems, Sanjay's life is relatively balanced, and he does not fit the criteria for needing fairy godparents in the whimsical world of the Fairly OddParents. His situation highlights that, while he faces obstacles, he has sufficient support to navigate them effectively. Elmer. Elmer is often depicted as one of Timmy's less fortunate friends, frequently bullied and overlooked. His consistent status as an outsider and the abuse he endures from bullies highlight a life marked by significant challenges. Despite occasional moments of improvement, Elmer's ongoing difficulties and social struggles suggest that he might indeed benefit from fairy godparents. Elmer's situation aligns with the criteria for needing magical assistance, as his life is characterized by persistent adversity and a lack of support, making him a strong candidate for fairy godparents. Tootie. Tootie is one of the most compelling candidates for fairy godparents. Her life is filled with challenges, including constant mistreatment from her sister Vicky and neglect from her parents. Episodes like Birthday Wish highlight that Tootie is considered to be twice as miserable as Timmy, suggesting that she meets the criteria for fairy godparents. Tootie's experiences of mistreatment and neglect are significant, and her emotional struggles are evident throughout the series. Her inability to keep the secret of having fairy godparents further emphasizes her need for magical intervention, making her a prime candidate for fairy godparents. Hazel Wells. Hazel Wells, a character from Fairly OddParents, a new wish, faces a tough transition to life in Dimmodelphia. Her struggle with making friends and her use of coping mechanisms like pet rocks reflect a level of emotional distress. Additionally, Hazel's longing for her brother and adjustment issues suggest that she might qualify for fairy godparents. Despite her overall positive outlook, Hazel's emotional challenges and coping mechanisms indicate a level of struggle that aligns with the criteria for fairy godparents. Her situation, marked by loneliness and adjustment difficulties, presents a strong case for the need for magical assistance. So, who truly deserves fairy godparents in the Fairly OddParents? Characters like Tootie and Remy Bucksaplenty seem to fit the bill with their deep emotional and social struggles. Tootie's ongoing mistreatment and neglect, and Remy's inner insecurity despite his wealth, show they might really need some magical help. But what about Chester and AJ? Chester's optimism and supportive family, along with AJ's stable life, don't quite match the usual criteria for fairy godparents. It's clear that the show's idea of deserving magical intervention goes beyond just visible problems. What do you think? Do Tootie and Remy truly deserve fairy godparents, or is there more to their stories? Share your thoughts and hit that subscribe button for more fun insights into your favorite shows. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it.